Welcome to the Food Clues podcast, where we dive deep into the world of holistic health and wellness, conquering your food allergies and intolerances one bite at a time. I'm your host, Dr. Alexis Sams, holistic physical therapist, food allergy specialist, but you can call me the food allergy doc. With this podcast, I'm all about helping you conquer your food allergies naturally. Through my unique Food Clues treatment approach, I've helped hundreds of people uncover the root causes of their food reactions and achieve true freedom from allergies and intolerances by identifying the missing links between their trigger foods and the underlying causes driving those triggers. In each episode, I'll be sharing the latest in my holistic health practices. I'll also be sharing transformative success stories. I'll bust some common myths surrounding healthcare and food allergy management and provide practical tips to support your healing journey. Whether you're struggling with chronic food allergies or looking for natural ways to manage other symptoms and enhance your well-being, this podcast is for you. Today's episode is packed with insights and actionable advice for better health that's right up your alley. So let's get started on the path to a happier, healthier you. Hey everyone, welcome to Nutrition Reveals. I'm your host, Dr. Alexis Sams, holistic physical therapist and food allergy specialist. And today we're doing another Food Clues Spotlight. I'm going to be sharing a story with you, but ultimately what I'm here to talk about is how the food is not the problem with your food allergy or intolerance. I'm going to say that again. The food is not the problem with your food allergy and intolerance. And I know you're probably wondering, what the heck? Obviously, the food is the problem, but let me explain. You've probably heard the phrase, the devil is in the details, which I'm not a big fan of that phrase, so I'm going to tweak it a little bit. The difference is in the details. Yeah, the possibilities are in the details. So how does that apply to the food not being the problem? That leads into my story, which I lovingly call the bleach story. So I was sitting with a friend of mine, and she has an avocado allergy, and we were just talking about it kind of casually, and we were also talking about how I work with clients and food helping them conquer their food allergies. And she was just talking about just focusing on the avocado and, that being the crux of the problem. And I essentially said, think about it like this. If there was an avocado sitting in front of us right now, just one avocado, and we cut it in half. So you had half and I had half. And you took a bite out of your half and I took a bite out of my half. More than likely, you would have a reaction because you know that you're allergic to avocado. This is all hypothetical, of course. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I don't have an allergy. So if I took a bite of that same avocado, it's likely that I wouldn't have a reaction, correct? And she said, yeah. So in essence, is it really like the food in its entirety that's the problem? Or is the difference in the details? Is it a quality within that food matched with the person who's taken it in, and the dynamics between the food quality and that person may be, part of the problem? I hate saying people are problems, but you understand. And so as we continued the conversation, we began to talk a little bit more about that. Is it really the food itself or characteristics of the food? And then I said, think about it like this. If we had a cup of bleach and we split a cup of bleach between the two of us, and you and I took a sip out of the bleach, what would likely happen? And she was just kind of like, oh. So what would happen is we would both probably get sick because in its entirety, there is nothing about bleach that is supposed to be in our bodies in any way, shape, or form. So bleach in the entirety with our body would be the essence of the problem. The entirety of the bleach would be the problem. Versus when you go back to the food, not exactly the entire food could be the problem. Because if it was, going back to the avocado, both of us should technically have a reaction. But if one of us did and one of us didn't, it can more than likely be part of that food, but maybe not that food in its entirety. That is pretty much the essence of food clues. It's understanding and knowing the characteristics of foods, how they're supposed to react in the body, and then if there's a mismatch, if there's a dysfunction or an abnormal reaction in the body, it is a clue, the dynamics of that reaction is a clue as to what may be going on inside of you that might need some support. It's not necessarily the food itself or the quality, that characteristic of the food itself, that's the problem either. It's once that characteristic gets inside, it causes some disarray and gives us some information as to what may be the problem that can be resolved. That's the essence of food clues. And that's essentially my bleach story. So that is part of the perspective of how the food may not completely be the problem. It can boil down to a characteristic of the food, and then taking it a step further, a characteristic mismatch with the body or difficulty with your body handling that certain characteristics. That's what the essence of food clues is about, and that's what the food clues framework helps to fix. That's essentially the basis of the entire treatment program when I'm helping with clients. If you've heard me talk about my client Rhonda, it was working through her food clues after she revealed that she was able to overcome her melon allergy just spontaneously. We were working on other things, other chronic symptoms that she'd had, but she came in one day and was just like, oh, by the way, I'm good with melon now. I don't have any problems with it. And what it boiled down to is that we were able to, on the back end, address and restore the dysfunction that the quality in the melon was bringing out of her, was reacting to. So if you were sitting and wondering, okay, that kind of makes sense, I'm kind of intrigued, but like, where do I start to figure out my food clues? Like, how does that happen? How does that work? I've got you covered. Check out myfoodclues.com/quiz. Take my short assessment, and you can get your more dominant food clue revealed to you through just a couple minutes of clicking away at foods that you commonly react to. And then from there, it'll take you to some additional information where you can look a little bit deeper into knowing more about your food clues. So there you go, guys. Hopefully a little bit more insight about how the difference is in the details, and maybe it's not exactly the entire food that's the problem. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon with more food clues tips. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Food Clues Podcast. I hope you found today's talk insightful and inspiring as you navigate your journey towards better health and wellness. Ready to take the first step in conquering your food allergies? Visit www.myfoodclues.com/quiz and take the Food Clues quiz today. In less than 5 minutes, you'll get your first food clue to identify the likely causes of your food reactions. This will be your first opportunity to uncover the hidden factors impacting your health and start your journey towards food freedom. Stay connected by following the Food Allergy Doc on Instagram. Enjoy the Food Allergy Freedom Collective on Facebook, where you'll find a supportive community and valuable resources to help you on your path to wellness. And don't forget to subscribe to the Food Clues podcast so you never miss out on an episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and share it with someone you know. Thanks for listening, and remember, your food clues are the key to conquering your food allergies. Take the quiz, join our community, and let's achieve food freedom together.